place because changes took place over the summer. Officially went in. A lot of things went in. We have new conferences. We have new playoff rules. We have a lot of stuff that we need to get into. So let's get into it. Changes for the college football season. Let's begin with how the playoff system is going to work, shall we? Because as you can see here on your screen here, and those of you who are listening to us on whatever platform you listen to, thank you for listening to us. Also, you can catch Bearing Down the Gridiron on the radio waves on Saturday, on World Rise Radio on Saturdays, leading up to the kickoff of game when the games begin officially. So 11 to 12 on Saturdays on the Real Rise Radio. And then you can catch us Fridays on 502 American Angel for Bearing Down the Gridiron after shooting lights out. So, yes, two of the shows that I host will be played back to back on Fridays, and it'll be Friday mornings at that. Now, we are going from a 4-team playoffs to a 12-team playoffs for the next 2 years, and then I think it's going up to 16 after that for 2026. But knowing the NCAA, they're gonna try to find a way to make it 16 teams at 2025. But for right now, it's officially 12-team playoffs for this upcoming season and next season. The champions of the Power Four conference is the ACC, the Big 12, the Big 10, and the SEC will all receive buys from the first round. You'll get top 6 at large bids, and then from how it was worded, the 2 remaining higher conference champions, which is going to be interesting to see how that goes, because you're talking about the Pac-12, the Mountain West, the American Conference, the MEAC Conference, the Sun Belt Conference, and I think I'm missing one. I can't think off the top of my head right now. But yes, we'll round out the final 8 teams for the 12-team playoffs. Now, this is how this is going to work, okay? So you already know your your winners of your Power 4 conferences, gets buys, okay? So how will the rest of the seasons work? Well, look how they normally work. So your first round will feature whoever's the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th seed. They will host first round matches against the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th seed. So 5 will host 12, 6 will host 11, 7 will host 10, and 8 will host 9 at their respective campuses for the first round. Once that is determined, once that's finished, the quarterfinals will be the quarterfinals matchup will be at selected bowl venues. Well, the first seed will get the winner between the 8 versus 9 seed. The second seed will get the winner between the 7 and 10 seed. The 3 seed will get the winner between the 6 and 11 seed. And the 4 seed will get the winner between the 5th and the 12th seeded teams. And then once those are completed and done in those rounds, or the quarterfinals, the semifinals will match up in the other 2 bowl game venues. Well, the winners of the number 1 seeded game, semifinal will be determined when the winner between the 1 versus 9 winner, 1 versus 8-9 winner, 2 versus 7-10 winner, and those winners would go against the winners of the 4 versus 5-12 winner and 3 versus 6-11 winner. So your winners of your 1 versus 8 or 9 winner would take on the winner of the 4 versus 5-12 winner. And then your winner of your 2nd versus 7 or 10 winner would take on the winner between the 3rd 6 or 11 winner. So forth and so forth. You see the picture here, which is interesting. So I'm looking forward to see how they do this. How are the 12 teams going to be ranked? How do they determine the 12 teams? Pretty much, how would they determine the 5th through the 12th slot? Is pretty much what I'm looking forward to. Whoever wins the ACC, the SEC, the Big 10, the Big 12. Okay, which one has the better record, the better resume? They get the ones. 5 through 12 is going to be interesting for me. How that goes. And how do they determine which remaining conference winners gets the 5th and 6th slot, which is going to be fun to watch as well. All right. Now, here are our bowl venues. So the New Year's 6 Bowl will be the quarter and semifinal games. For this upcoming season, your quarterfinals will have the Fiesta Bowl on the end of the year, December 31st. The Peach Bowl, the Rose Bowl, and the Sugar Bowl will be January 1st. And then your semifinal bowl venues will be on the Orange Bowl January 9th and the Cotton Bowl January 10th, with the next championship game being January 20th, 2025, in the good old city of Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And then 2025, the quarterfinals in 2025 will have the Cotton Bowl on the 31st, the Orange Bowl, Rose Bowl, and Sugar Bowl on January 1st. Then you will have your semifinals in 2025 being the Fiesta Bowl on January 8th and the Peach Bowl on January 9th. And that championship game will be January 19th down in Miami at Hard Rock Stadium. One thing I want y'all to notice, okay? One thing that I want y'all to notice is that you notice the Sugar Bowl and the Rose Bowl both are still being held on January 1st, which means the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl, for us right now, mainly the Rose Bowl, will no longer be held as championships games. It will not be held as semifinal game. The Rose Bowl want to keep their tradition of being on New Year's Day, so they have agreed to be only the quarterfinals venue with this new playoff format. It's in a way, I understand the tradition of it, but it's still kind of bittersweet because out of all the New Year's Six bowl games, the Rose Bowl is the one that has the most presidents out of all of them. When you go out to Pasadena, California, it's just different. When you can hear from players who played in the past, when they hold national championship games there, when they hold college football playoff games there, or when it just held a regular Rose Bowl game there, it's just different than the Fiesta Bowl, the Peach Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the Orange Bowl, and the Cotton Bowl. But for them to only be a quarterfinals bowl game kind of sucks, to be honest with you. Because I'm pretty sure the NCAA and these conferences wanted to have the Rose Bowl be a site for a national championship game, but they want to stay with tradition and stay on New Year's Day. And the NCAA and these conferences oblige. So the Rose Bowl will be only for the quarterfinals. There'll be no semifinals of a Rose Bowl game. There'll be no national championship game in Pasadena, California, for as the Rose Bowl is concerned. I just want y'all to realize that, and I think the Sugar Bowl is part of that as well. We'll see in 2026 if the Sugar Bowl will stay on January 1st or will they elect to move around. But I know for sure that the Rose Bowl is now leaving January 1st. So I want y'all to notice that. Now, for this year, this is how it will go. As I mentioned earlier, 5 versus 12, 6 versus 11, 7 versus 10, 8 versus 9. And then once those matchups are determined, we'll see who will be going to the Fiesta Bowl, the Peach Bowl, the Rose Bowl, and the Sugar Bowl for the quarterfinals. And those winners will go to the Orange Bowl and Cotton Bowl before they meet down in the ATL for the national championship game on January 20th, which is 10 days after the Cotton Bowl is played. So you get a good week and a half between the semifinals and the national championship game. So that's a nice little tidbit right there to keep it going for the playoff format going forward for 2024 and 2025, even though things can change for 2025. And I know as officially they'll be going to 16, if I remember correctly, in 2026. But in the NCAA, they could move that up to 2025. Who knows? But those are your playoff changes for this upcoming season, for you to have your everything that you need to know and things to do. But we're not done when it comes to changes, because I did say conference realignment went to full effect at the beginning of July. On July 1st, conference realignment changed around. We had a lot of movement. So the California Golden Bears, the Stanford Cardinals, and the SMU Mustangs are officially a part of the Atlantic Coast Conference. The Arizona Wildcats, the Colorado Buffaloes, the Arizona State Sun Devils, and the Utah Utes are officially part of the Big 12 Conference. The Oregon Ducks, UCLA Bruins, USC Trojans, and the Washington Huskies are officially part of the Big 10. And the Oklahoma Sooners and the Texas Longhorns are officially part of the Southeastern conference. So